So, what are your goals in neutral when playing as Rob? Your goals in neutral when you're playing as Rob is to look for openings and seeing what your opponent does versus Nair and your projectile pressure. For starters, you want to Nair for aggressive neutral and you want to be using your projectiles for more defensive neutral. The first neutral tool I'm going to talk about is Rob's Nair, his most popular move and one of his best moves. Nair is a meaty, lingering hitbox, and it's a combo starter too. And in combination with Nair, you can also use Z-Drop Gyro that is really scary when you hit your opponent with it because it's pretty much what starts all the Rob 0 to death combos. Nair is also a really good spacing tool, and you can do 50-50s with an empty jump into a grab. It's just a really good tool to use with Rob, and it's super important to make sure that you use it very well in your kit, or else you're not really going to see much success with the character. Another strong neutral tool that Rob has is his projectiles. And yeah, I said projectiles, two of them. His gyro and laser specifically. Gyro is really good because you can use it as a mix up your movement with B reverse pressure. And you can also set it down on the ground for bait. Your opponent has to either respect it or try picking it up. And either way, it's still scary for the opponent to do it because of how active the hitbox is when it's spinning on the ground. And laser is just a laser. And it crosses through the stage really fast or slow, which no matter what is still really good because of the way it works. The lower charge laser is faster but thinner and is weaker. However, the fuller charge is slower and wider, but it's still stronger. And both of them serve different purposes, with the full charge being more used as a combo and just scaring your opponent more, and the lower charge is just a fast projectile. But no matter what projectile it is, it's still antagonizing your opponent from a distance and really good to use in your neutral game. Rob's down tilt is also another one of his great neutral tools because of just how fast it is and how strong of a combo starter it is. You can also use it as a hit check on shield for pressure options. Dash tag is another neutral tool that Rob has, and it's a quick burst option and can catch landings and jump ins. Rob's dash tag is really good as also being a combo starter. However, it's one of the more niche neutral tools because some of his other tools are just a lot stronger, but when it's used effectively, it can really catch your opponent off guard just really fast. And Rob's last neutral tool that I'm going to want to talk about is his Fair. Fair is really good because it can be used for walling, and it can also be used as a knockdown to initiate tech chasing with his down tilt or dash tag. And letting Fair could just be a general combo starter depending on the percentage your opponent is at. And next, we're going to go on to the next section about Rob in neutral, which is his out of shield options. Rob's out of shield game isn't necessarily one of the best things in his character kit, being widely regarded as one of his biggest weaknesses aside from his size. However, he definitely still has a lot of options out of shield that some characters just wish they had. Let's go over one of them with his gyro out of shield. His gyro out of shield is really good because you can do either a Z-drop gyro out of shield or a gyro toss out of shield, and depending on which one you can do, you could just do any type of combo with them. Rob's down to jab are Rob's best out of shield options because of how fast and how good they are with confirming into other moves. We already showed the down tilt combo chart, but jab also sets up for other combos with a dash tag or a grab depending on if your opponent is really scared and holds shield right away. And also they can set into attack chase scenarios depending on what percentage they're at. It's really good for boxing situations up close when your opponent is just trying to fight you. Next, let us talk about grab out of shield. Grab is universal for pretty much every single character, aside from tougher characters. However, grab is still really good with Rob just because of how his throws work, with his down throw being a berry throw and his other throws, aside from up throw, being super fast and can really catch your opponent off guard. And even then, up throw can be used as just a general kill move out of shield if your opponent's at a high enough percent. So it's really good to keep in mind depending on how laggy the move is. You know how we said that Fair is a really good option as a neutral tool because of its walling out capabilities? Well, it's also really good out of shield because of this. Fair is just a spaced option out of shield, and it can be used to create space when your opponent is still trying to hit you, but you're not exactly sure if your move is going to hit, and just having the hitbox out there is just really good to have. And it sends your opponent a really bad angle because it puts them into a tech chase scenario, which you can either get a lock depending on if they tech it or not, or you can just react to it and get either a dash tag or your own down tilt with it and continue your advantage state. And lastly, we have Rob's up smash. Rob's up smash is mostly just used as a hard punish at KO percents, but even at earlier percentages, it can be used if you want your opponent to get off of you with setting them up in the sky. but most of the time it will be used out of shield as a kill move, so just keep that in mind. And that is episode 4, Neutral Tools, where we discussed Prob's neutral tools and his out of shield game.